Before we can get started, there are a few things I need to share with you so we can orient ourselves in the right direction. Even at 40, I viewed life and this existence completely different than I do now. So, what I want to say to you is that I had this mistaken belief that I already uncovered all there was to know at 40 about myself, my gifts, my talents, and my purpose. And that was 12 years ago. So looking back, I can now see that such a belief was naive and ignorant, as I thought I had all the answers to life. It was only because of the suffering and seriously potentially debilitating illness that I had that I sprung into action in search for a solution to my problem. That's when I found the four phrases. And initially it felt great. I believed I released a lot of pain, but in truth, I only scratched the surface. The illness remained. And at the time, I was only interested in getting rid of the problem and returning to my humdrum life. And that's a key piece of information for anyone suffering from an illness right now. The illness and its roots need to be uncovered. So the magic pill that I was looking for, it doesn't really exist. And that's why maybe science cannot offer a brain transplant today. It never has been able to. Why they don't have a cure for cancer or even acne? Because it is our consciousness that is truly within this body and not just this physical hunk of skin. Epigenetics and quantum physics are now saying what Hawaiians have been saying for an eternity, that all illnesses, diseases, disorders are a creation of man. Mostly our programming, beliefs, and especially our emotions, thought forms. And we will get into exactly what those thought forms are and how they are hovering around our own body, damaging as far as within, these negative thoughts. So now Dr. Bruce Lipton, an epigeneticist, says that 90% of the disorders and illnesses are not genetic, not because Grandma Jenny had them in her bloodline. No, you are in your very own universe. So any harm you do to yourself must be undone mainly by you. Not all, but a large percent. So as I continued searching for more information on my ancestors' teaching, I finally was able to discover Morna's prayers, which are found on the internet, thankfully, because she wanted them to be found for free. Something I personally was familiar with was prayer. Growing up in a Catholic and then gathering the original esoteric Christianity teachings, prayer has been most beneficial to me as a child and throughout my life. And how can you have a balanced life without prayer, right? It wasn't a coincidence that suddenly many others recently have been searching and creating channels, sharing this gift of Morna's, a gift of a lifetime. So you see, in the spirit of rhythm and time that we are in right now, people like Morna came forward 200 to 500 years ahead of their time to deliver this blessed message. But culture has to go through the same process too to evolve, just like me and you. So some of you may not be ready, and that's okay. It's a deeper understanding of who you really are, and it can be challenging. So if you're really not ready to look deep within yourself, to be 100% honest, please exit this course and return when you can give this teaching and yourself 100% chance to experience transformation. Many of you have incredible gifts, but they will not be experienced until you and I are spiritually mature enough, more purified in our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions to get clear on what the true calling is so that we can correctly extinguish the various cords, redirecting life in harmful ways sometimes. And this process, called Ho'oponopono, upgraded by Morna, our beloved teacher, can help you get ready to be ready. Morna stated in one of her last interviews with the Manoa News, just a few years before her death, she described Ho'oponopono as a process involving prayer, forgiveness, repentance, and transmutation. The word transmutation. And if you are familiar with the law of cause and effect, you know that you have karmic connections with others, objects, with different things every day. So with this teaching, you begin to understand the significance and the difference between Ho'oponopono versus four phrases and why we must respect the process and the laws that are guiding us to dissolve those harmful things that we've created. So for those wanting instant gratification, it can be difficult not to experience it right now in this now of reality, but something comes before you see the transformation in 3D. It's a residual effect. As you are calibrated towards balance and harmony, it is done gently because a lot of times we're actually not ready for what's best for us, the balance path towards transmutation. So we will get deeper into this topic and we'll discuss the law of three, the Trinity, the triune concept on a grander scope, one of creation, the collapse of creation, you could say, where the three merge into one. And many of you have heard of Brahma as the creator, Vishnu as the preserver, and Shiva as the destroyer. It's the same thing. If there is any aim in this process, is that we are to transmute the lower aspects of ourselves and become more of our true soul's expression in our life. And this is where divine love that flows from me to you is expressed. Not I love you, but not you. We will be going deeper into understanding that. The more you begin to allow your soul's nature in, the gifts that have been with you for lifetimes will begin to flourish. You'll be able to look back and understand all your ups and downs from a new lens. So the person you are today, I promise you, is not the real person, not the fully developed person. It could take lifetimes sometimes. But with Ho'oponopono, it seems like you might be on a fast track. This personality who is driving your car today, it doesn't want to go to the back seat. So what I want you to do is, in order for us to start this course, we're going to need a few materials to move forward. One of them is a notebook of any kind. It doesn't have to be this type, just a regular notebook, because in full faith and honesty, we are choosing this path to release those blockages, lies, and deceptive thoughts that we are telling ourselves. Because if we are not truly honest with ourselves, honestly, from a clairvoyant perspective, you place more blocks in front of you because these thought forms, like let's say that I'm not being truthful and it's just being hidden inside me, they harm the body. So what we're going to do is, in your notebook, I want you to write up your own declaration because Ho'oponopono is about freedom. So I'm not going to have you sign anything that I make up. You're going to sign your own declaration. So basically, I want you, the reason that you're writing this, first of all, is because you're going to trigger your autonomic nervous system. You're going to trigger the emotional body to be present. There's a lot of writers, famous writers, that still write out their books. And then they have someone else type it in the computer because just as I am talking in this computer right now, technically, what gives it life is me and you communicating through it, not this physical object that's in between us. And that's one of the reasons that I find it difficult to sit down and do videos. My videos have not been consistent because I'm not creating for YouTube. I'm creating as Spirit gives me the guidance that I need to go forward. So you're going to agree with full faith, and somehow your first page should be a declaration that I am going to commit to this process, something like that, that I am going to, in full honesty, in love and truth, allow my true self to come forward, something of that nature where you're having an honest conversation between you and yourself. And you want that to be your first page because it might get tough to look at yourself and all the different things. And I tell you, I'm going to give you a little piece of information through Ho'oponopono. I have been able to understand this true karmic cleansing. And I'll share, in one of my lifetimes, I was a prostitute. And now I understand why I had this desire to have shoes. So what will happen is some of you will not need to problem solve by writing. Many of you are already having these experiences where in your dream world, when you go to sleep, your eye and your emotional body leaves your body. And what you're doing is you're going through processes to help you purify your spirit, to help you shed things that were dark, that kept you from speaking your true voice. And so one night, because of this process, I asked myself, why did I love shoes so much as a child? What was it? I remember a specific pair of shoes. They were leather clogs, and I fell asleep looking at them. I put them right by my bed. I just loved them so much. Where did this come from? Where did this fetish desire for shoes come from? Well, what I was shown through karmic cleansing, through doing the process, because you begin to get more clear. All these cords start falling away and you become more of your true self. And one of the gifts is to have the clairvoyance to understand why you are the way you are. So the shoes, I was able to see from the perspective of my old self, me walking, prostituting, not wanting to really be in that experience, not wanting to be in that the life that I had somehow ended up in. And so I was able to see my shoes and how I would stay in focus with my shoes as a way to escape from what I was experiencing. You see, many of us are here because there are lifetimes of sometimes shameful, tragic events, losing a loved one, and those things cause us to get stuck. They cause us to have blockages. So Ho'oponopono will clean those memories, dissolve them. So what I want you to do is share something about yourself as well as a declaration in within your own words, a part of you that you would like to leave behind, a story, something that you've been telling a million people, something that maybe you're only telling yourself that you dislike about yourself, something shameful that is bothering you, that's weighing on you. Write it down into your notebook because we are going to leave it in there. Because sometimes those stories that we keep telling ourselves, whether it's I'm never going to have enough money, I'm never going to be able to leave this person, I'm never, whatever that story is, the fact that it is replaying over and over and over is keeping you in that default network mode. It's a loop. And once we start creating new stories is when we can dissolve the old one and it will be allowed to be released and healed. Just know that this is a process. That's what Ho'oponopono is. It's a process of shedding, renewal, forgiveness, repentance, and transmuting to this beautiful flower that we all are. But first we got to plant some seeds. So this course may have 12 modules. I'm not for sure. I want to do this process in a different way than what you might be used to. There's a lot of courses out there and a lot of them seem very AI to me. I want to really be present with you and I want you to be present with me too so that we can ask each other questions, share information, tell stories like my ancestors talk story. So let's continue where we left off. And all these modules will begin to appear in Thinkific. We're trying to get everything set up with my website, rainbowflo.com. Continue to go there if you need another copy of your prayers. I will be adding other prayers there too that are always free. So thank you. Have a blessed day and mahalo, love and blessings to you.